here we are. Welcome back to Prop Life. So
Thanks
thank you for finally,
I know.
we have been trying to do this since, I don't know, TKL last year?
I think we were really trying to do it since February, and it's been all my fault. I've just been, no excuse.
Well, you're kind of busy, Mr. Famous. So.
No.
Yeah, I feel like we can actually say that now. First, TikTok. So that, and then now you've been featured in Hard Enduro Burrows. So you've been seen all over the world. So I think you're officially famous.
I wouldn't say that. I go to these races and I'm just another nobody. No one really knows who I am there.
People see your bike and they know who you are, though. It's just most of the time they don't see your face in your videos.
That does actually, people see my bike first and they're like, wait, are you that guy? It's like, yep, I'm that guy. But that doesn't happen very often. It's pretty rare.
Or probably when you talk, because your voice is very unique.
Yeah. And I talk a lot in the video, so maybe that's my most recognizable trait.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, you just got to get your shirt line going.
I know, right? I got like a couple ideas. I don't know. I mean, in my head, I'm like, no one's going to buy those, but I mean, it's worth a shot. We can see what happens.
You don't know. You're famous. People buy famous people stuff all the time.
No, I'm not famous.
We'll let people decide. You guys can go and look at his stats on social media, and you guys can decide and chime in the comments whether or not you think he's famous, because I hold that he is. Because what is your TikTok count at now?
I think 85,000.
Yeah, 1,000, not just 85.
yeah. But like, it's not. I guess for hard enduro stuff, it's okay because hard enduro is pretty small. But it also it's like it's not strictly hard enduro. It's just like anything and everything dirt bikes. Could be like tossing a bike, or I don't know, talking about a gummy tire, or just talking shit with friends. So
or it's doing moto now. You're doing moto?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was scary.
What was that?
It was a 12-hour team race down in Colorado Springs, and most of it's on a motocross track. They have like a little bit of enduro tucked in there. It's about like a 20-minute, well, I guess for me it was about a 20-minute lap time. And that was like really the first time I was on a motocross track. And going there with like full hard enduro gummy tire setup and soft suspension, it actually went pretty okay. Started the day like not jumping anything, and by the end of the day we're jumping like, I don't know, 65-70% of the jump. So it was okay. It's a thing in my friend group. It's like Gray doesn't get air. Like if he's off the ground, something went wrong. And so I was off the ground and I didn't die, so it was a success.
Well, that's progress, I think.
Yeah. And also what really is crazy is you had the like Cody and Riley on the TWs. They had 3 teams, and 2 of the TW teams still beat us, which is crazy. They beat us by like 15 minutes.
Well, I think Cody and Riley could jump on just about any bike and probably beat most of us.
Yeah, they had a lot of fast guys on those teams. We got Cody's team. We beat Cody's team. But Riley and that 3rd team we didn't get. But we're on regular bikes, full-size bikes, and they're on those TW 200s. They were ripping.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it, but they're insane when it doesn't matter what bike it's on.
It really doesn't.
Ridiculous. So your next big stop is out to TKO.
Yep, TKO, leaving probably later today, honestly, in a couple hours.
Wow.
So yeah, just doing the last couple things, groceries, got to get a couple more. I have to go get a hydro pack or a water bladder, and then we're out of here.
That's awesome. How long does it take to get out there?
I think it's 21 hours.
20, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but 21 hours sure does. I mean, it's not fun.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I know. Trust me.
yeah. Hmm.
um, so how's the new rig been treating you? We're no longer car buddies. We're still bike
Yeah,
buddies, but not car
well,
buddies.
yeah, it's not great. The car has seen
Uh-oh.
better. I mean, it was great at first, but it's got a bad head gasket, which sucks.
Oh
So that's been,
no.
yeah, it's been a huge pain. And I had to drive to Ohio and back with a bad head gasket. So it means like stopping every 2.5 hours to put water
Oh
in the
my
radiator. And I had to replace the
god.
radiator in St. Louis on the way out there. Um, but it's whatever. We're taking a different car to TKO. I'm driving with Quinn, and then when we get back,
Okay.
I'll actually have time to like figure out what to do with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, sucks. I did the whole June trip, like Donner,
Mhm.
Silver Kings, and Squamish with it,
Mhm.
and it was the same situation there. Like, I had to stop pretty often, put water in the coolant or put water in the radiator. So unfortunate, but that's life, I guess.
See, we should have coordinated what kind of vehicle to buy.
I know, right? Bad luck not having the same one.
Yeah. I still have the Highlander.
Yeah, I have mine
But
too.
I bought a Nissan Titan.
Yep, I
So
saw that. Yeah.
it's pretty nice. However, Pennsylvania requires you to get an inspection. And
Hmm.
when I bought the vehicle and transferred it to my name, the girl told me I didn't need an inspection. And I
Mm,
assumed she's the DMV lady, so she would know. And then I
right.
found out that the last inspection on that truck was in 2024.
Oh,
So
wow. So you definitely do.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's getting inspected right now. So I the people at work are taking bets to see how much the inspection is going to cost. So basically,
Ooh,
if something doesn't pass the inspection, you have to get it fixed in order to pass it, right? So a
right.
friend of mine just had her car fail and it was like an O2 sensor. She had a bad head
Mm,
gasket. It was like all of these things. It's like $2,500.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, well, how much is this going to cost me? So
Yeah.
I should
Just
find out
hoping.
later today. Yeah, I'm just praying like maybe because the guy was a mechanic, so I'm hoping like he just took care of the vehicle and
Right.
just didn't get it inspected because some people are like that.
Yeah.
He said he drove it all the time. So I'm like, how
Mm,
could you drive it if it wasn't I don't know. Anyway, that's tangent.
yeah.
Um but once it's fixed up, I'm going to have this low mileage Nissan Titan. It is my moto truck, and I'm really excited. It's got air
Yep.
conditioning, which I haven't had in like 3 years. It's
Really? You haven't had AC
fantastic.
in 30 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. I would not be
Yep.
able to survive.
Yeah. Everywhere that we've been. So when we were at Grinding Stone and it was super
Yeah.
hot, no AC.
Yeah.
TKO last year, no
Oh,
AC.
no.
TKO the year
No.
before, no AC.
Yeah. No AC on the East Coast is like a whole different ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at
But
least
also,
in dry states, you can get away from it, but you
mhm,
can't when there's humidity.
yeah. Yeah, it's a killer. I am still getting used to it and like trying to figure out how to
Mm,
survive in this much humidity because it's
yeah.
I thought that I had experienced humidity in Tennessee. And I mean, I was here for Tough Like Roar a couple years ago
Mhm.
when Cody Webb was the
Yep.
only person to finish and like basically passed out as soon
Yep.
as it was done because it was so hot. And
Hmm.
but everybody was like, "Oh, it's not normally this bad." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So when I moved out here, I was thinking, "Oh, there's no way it's going to be that hot for like a prolonged period of time." And then like the first week and a half that I was here, it was just like 90 degrees and like 90% humidity, and I was like, What did I do?"
Yeah. Why do people live here?
Yeah, because then like
Yeah.
I don't even have the motivation to go out and ride. And we all know
Yeah.
that like I go out and ride no matter what. But
Yeah.
it was
Hmm.
just so hot. And
Yeah.
so I was down in this creek one day and I was just dying and laying in the creek for a moment. It cools you off physically being in it. But the second you're out of it, it's like
Yep.
having another layer added on top of you.
Yeah.
You're just even
Yeah.
hotter.
and it's hard to breathe. Like,
Hmm.
it feels like you're being suffocated. Even in
Yes.
the Hollow Point race, where it was humid, but it wasn't that humid. And
Yeah.
it's like halfway through the race, I'm like, I feel like I can't breathe. Like, it
Hmm.
almost feels like I'm at super high elevation, where you
Yeah.
just, the more you breathe, it like doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
It's
And you
just
really,
constantly trying to catch up.
yeah. I've really tried to like work on keeping my breathing steady because of that. Because like the first couple times I went out, I was like starting to hyperventilate. I was like, oh my God, like I feel like I can't get any oxygen.
Yes,
Um,
yeah,
so I think in a way it's making me more like meditative because I have to really focus on my breathing. I have to like focus on not passing out. But it's
yeah,
draining. It's so
yeah. It
draining.
is.
I can't ride as long in the humidity as I can in like the straight heat out west.
Yeah, and it's nice out west if like you're that hot and you pour
Hmm.
a bottle of water all over you, it like actually cools you down. But then in
Hmm.
humidity, you get, like you said, you get that few seconds of bliss, and then it's just another layer packed on top.
Yeah, it feels terrible, but
Yeah,
I chose to move here, so it is my
yeah.
fault. Um, so going back to TKO,
hmm
you're gonna get there. So if you leave tonight, you're gonna get there Thursday.
Yeah, we'll get there Thursday. I'm not exactly sure on the exact timing, but
Mhm.
Thursday at some point, we're gonna take it easy. Last year, I did it with Adam Connet. We did it in one shot, straight there, just switching back and forth. And then I'm
Mhm.
driving out there with Quinn this year, and I think we're gonna take it easy and just kind of hang out.
Yeah,
So get there around noon Thursday, and then get everything set up, of course, and then hot lap Friday, main race Saturday, and then pro racing on Sunday.
yeah. You're not gonna make it into the pro race. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, I think so. I'll be on the EMoto bike this year instead of a gas bike, and I
Mhm.
think the format for EMoto Sportsman is they take the top 10 from TKO 1 and they
Mhm.
put them into Sunday racing.
Okay.
Um, so EMoto Sportsman doesn't even get a chance to do TKO 2, as far as I believe. They just TKO 1 is like their
Just
race.
auto. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So like top 10 EMoto Sportsman goes to Sunday, and I think everyone else is that's just the racing's over. So
Yeah.
I am unsure how many people are signed up for the class. I imagine there's like 40, I want to say.
Yeah.
So top 25%, and I've never raced a hard enduro on an e-bike or an e-moto. So I mean, we'll see what happens. It'd be cool to make Sunday, but
Yeah.
it might.
How did this EMoto thing come about? Like, where did that come from? Because that is not. We all know Grayson and the Husqvarna.
Yeah. So I am buddies with e-bike Michael
Yeah.
Horton. We ride and go to all the races together, and he's on an e-bike. I keep saying e-bike. People have gotten on me about saying that because
I do the
people
same
associate
thing.
e-bikes with kids on the street like doing wheelies or whatever. But he rides an e-moto, and I've always wanted to race one because he's always racing them, and it looks fun. And I at Hollow Point officially won the B championship a round early. So I was like, with 2 weeks to go, I'm like, hey, maybe I should try and reach out to Zero and see if they can get me a bike. And so I reached out to them, and initially they said, like, sorry, it's too soon, can't make anything work. And then I was like, hey, you know what? I'll be okay racing a demo bike if
Yeah.
that's possible. And they're like, you know what? Actually, I think we can make something happen. We can get like a demo bike and build it out and get you on something. And I'm like, sweet. So they're gonna hook it up and give me a bike to race, and I'm gonna have zero riding experience on it. No pun intended. But,
I was like, that was good.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. The bikes look great. I think the
Yeah.
mid-sized e-motos are definitely. I don't want to say they're better than full-sized, but they seem a lot more suited for hard enduro because having the bigger frame and the bigger bikes most of the time just isn't necessary in what we're doing since we're moving so slow.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be pretty easy just to hop on that thing and then after 10 minutes feel at home and just pick
Yeah.
away at that track. Because every year I go there, I see people on those EMotos just full paddling, picking away at it, and I'm like, man, that looks like easy. I don't know what it is, but it looks like they're just going through it way easier than I am.
I think that also comes down to rider skill, but I mean, you
I
have
agree,
skill, so
there's something about, maybe it's like the motor noise, how you can't hear anything, but when you
yeah.
see those guys just like buzzing past you with no noise, it seems like it's easier.
But yeah, because you're not hearing them like rev out or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like
That makes
hitting a
sense.
rock and stalling. They're just bzzz, right past you, honking
Yeah.
their.
Oh my god, I love it. That's really exciting. I've been watching like the EMoto class just growing and growing.
Yeah.
From a couple years ago, the first time that I went to TKO, and I saw Connor Hennessy on one, and it's really cool to see him coming back. Um, yeah, it's grown a lot. So this is really
Yeah.
exciting. So
Yeah.
is this potentially something that we're going to see more of, like Gray on
I
new
have no
bikes?
idea. I mean, it could be. I have nothing against EMoto bikes. Like, I think they're all great. It's good for the sport.
Yeah.
And as much as I think some of us don't want to admit it, you know, in 5, 10, 15, however many years, like that's what all the bikes are going to be, you know.
Mhm.
So sooner or later, we're all going to be on EMoto bikes. So might as well get started now and see how it goes. But no, I
Yeah.
still love my Husky. It's great, but it's also fun to switch it up and try something new. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I've been wanting to try an EMoto for a while.
yeah,
Until very recently, I did not know that you can lower most of them. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Not
And
that
also
you
it's
need
great
that.
because most of them are already mid-sized, so
Yeah.
they're already a little bit smaller profile, and
Mhm.
sometimes you probably don't even need to. But then of course you still have the option if you need to lower it
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I think I'll probably always need to lower a bike because even they got me a little KLX to ride when I was in Minnesota at the race out
Yep.
there. And it was a big wheel. So it was tall.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, I told the guy, I was like, I'm probably going to end up dropping your bike
yeah,
because I couldn't touch the ground. Like
yeah.
not flat foot at least, like I was tiptoeing. And so, yeah, it was
Those things are
definitely
big and heavy too. Like it's
yes.
awkward weight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then, so like to get to the area where it started, you have to like drop down into, I'm trying to think of what it's called. They call it a bluff in Minnesota, but
okay.
that's
Yeah,
like, I don't know, I guess it's just a big hill, but it's really steep and
yeah,
rocky. And going on a bike that you've never been on before, that's a little bit too tall, that the front brake is sticking, the clutch isn't catching her.
yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like,
So
I'm inevitably gonna dump this thing and have to explain, hey, sorry, I broke this part.
yeah, I felt so bad. Well, because I thought I did something wrong when the front brake was sticking, and I was like, I don't know what I did. I literally just came down the hill. I was like,
Yeah.
and then taking that thing back up the hill, I was
Hmm.
supposed to be trying to go from the start line to this one spot, and by the time I got the bike up the hill, like half of the amateur class had already gone through the area that I
Oh
was
wow.
supposed to be going to.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was paddling as much as I could to get the bike to go up because it was no
Yeah.
power. I
It's
was
funny
like,
how
oh
it
my
is
God.
with spectating the hard enduros. Like
Yeah,
you have to do hard enduro just to get to
yeah,
spectate the hard enduro. Even
yeah.
walking at Hollow Point, there was so much mud. Like you have to be committed if you wanted to get to some of those spots to watch the pros. I mean, it
Yeah.
was like sloppy and wet, and there's some people out there where they just accepted their fate and fully just like said, I don't like these shoes anymore. Just stepping in deep, deep mud.
Yeah.
And they had a shuttle, a couple shuttle like UTVs
Hmm.
going up and down these steep hills, and it was like kind of sketchy. But I'm like, man, these people are committed.
They are, definitely. I think that there's not a ton of spectators at these races a lot of the time, but
Hmm.
when there are, they definitely are hardcore. And
Yeah,
I think that
for
makes
sure.
it really awesome. There's like, I mean, at TKO last year, there was people in sections that I didn't expect to see people in. I was like, we are too
Yep.
far into the course, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Yep.
I love
People
that.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was really interesting at that Minnesota race. We actually had quite a few spectators. I think our count in the end was like 60 some riders for the
Okay.
weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted
And
to go to that.
we probably had equal spectators, which is
Oh
crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. It was probably the highest ratio I've ever seen of spectators to riders. So
Yeah.
um
It looked like a really
but
cool race. I was
it was
seeing
awesome.
some of the pictures and videos like a couple days before. I'm like, what are the chances I make it here? I'm like, it's just too much. There's just no way. It's
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, we're hoping to kind of try and time it to be a little bit different next year so it's
Mhm.
not so close to TKO because we had the
Right.
Ohio round and then TKO, so most people were just going to come south um, as opposed to being able to go west and then come back south.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're talking about some different dates. It probably won't be the same time frame
Hmm.
to make it easier for people to come because
Yeah.
we had a lot of feedback on that. So if you have suggestions, let us know.
Yeah.
Um,
It
but
seems like
yeah,
there's just more for races. Like
yeah,
it's hard to find a weekend where there isn't some cool race going on somewhere in the country.
yeah, and that's the thing is like we were talking about trying to just focus in on Minnesota racers originally and how can we work around the races like the hare scrambles, the enduros, and make it work so those people could come if they want to. And we found out that most of the people who came weren't even from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they don't race those series. So most of the people who came and most of the people who've said that they want to come next year are from out of state. So
Hmm.
whether it's Iowa, Wisconsin, we had a huge group from North Dakota. We had quite a few people from Montana. So I thought that was really cool. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
people want to come from Montana for our little
Right.
one-off race, but that's just like how passionate hard enduro people are in general.
For sure.
And this is a new area that people get to ride. Like it was like a lot of like, okay, what do they have? And
Yeah.
we did
Yeah. People
release in
want
the
to race
last
those races. They
exactly.
want to go to
And
them.
we have more stuff than what was in this race. Like there's a lot gnarlier stuff for the pros and like there's a lot of options for this property. So it's really exciting
Hmm.
to see what it becomes in the future. But I thought it was really well done. Spectator routes were awesome. And then all the feedback we got from riders, both amateur and pro, was like positive for like as far as the course layout and everything. The
Yeah.
pros wanted to have the harder sections to be harder, but I feel
Yeah.
like 90% of the time that's what they always ask for.
I was just gonna say that they always want it harder.
Hmm. But I think it was a good balance and it'll be cool to see what that one becomes in the next couple years. So
Yeah. For
we've got
sure.
some we've got some big ideas. So
Yeah.
definitely put it on your calendar next year when we release the
Yeah. It looks
dates.
like a really cool property.
Hmm.
It looks slippery.
Yes. Not quite as bad as Ohio. But yeah, it's pretty slick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you most looking forward to for the rest of your year, whether it's TKO or anything else that you have planned?
So we're going to TKO, obviously, and then middle of September there's a West Hare Scramble out in Monte Vista, Colorado. I've never done a hare scramble, so I'm going to go and give that a shot. And then I believe the following weekend, or it might be 2 weekends after that, is Club Locos. which
Yeah.
is that urban hard enduro in Pueblo,
Mhm.
and that is super fun. And this year it's going to be a little bit longer course, but I'm most excited about that going into the rest of the year. And after that, I think that's it. Like I don't think there's anything else going on. There was that bragging rights hard enduro that I believe is
Mhm.
in North Dakota,
South
and that one
Dakota.
just got South Dakota. That one just got canceled, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think Pueblocos is the one I'm most looking forward to. Also because it's only like a 2-hour drive, so finally don't have to drive like across the country to go to a race. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's also one of the most unique races of the year,
Yeah.
if not the
It
most unique.
just well, the urban side of it, I think, makes
Yeah,
it pretty unique. It's kind of, I mean, we saw how excited people were about that in, was it Romaniacs that had like an urban section this year? Um,
um,
I think it was.
what,
I'm pretty sure it was Romaniacs had a day where they
yeah.
went through like a
Oh,
like an
yes, the
old
factory.
building. Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I think that was day one, Romaniacs, maybe day two, but yeah, you're right. They went through like an old factory, something up and down those stairs. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that seeing that kind of stuff is really fun. So like pre dirt bike life, I watched a lot of like zombie movies and stuff like that. So it's fun to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
be like, hey, this would work out in a zombie apocalypse.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool because like it's not often you can just drive into like a city and then unload your dirt bike and literally race from there. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird because it feels like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. And especially because you guys were so close to a road last year. Like you
Yeah,
guys like
yeah,
came down the side and then like went right back
yep,
up.
yeah.
That was
So we're
scary
doing.
looking.
It was scary. It's one of those. Once you hit it though, it's really easy, but it looks very intimidating.
Mhm.
But there were a couple people who like came down it and wrecked off of it. And asphalt and concrete doesn't budge like dirt
Mhm.
does. At least dirt has a little bit of cushion. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some sketchy sections out there where if you messed up, you're having a bad day.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. It reminds me of Grinding Stone though, because like if
yeah,
you fall at Grinding Stone, it's the same thing.
yep, yep. You know what was really surprising about Donner is I felt like Donner had a lot of that where there were sections where if you didn't make it up, you were coming all the way back down and it was going to be a show. Just like
Yeah.
Grinding Stone, there's a lot of
Yeah.
those big rock faces. Of course, not as extreme as Grinding Stone, because there you can just get like massive walls that you can shoot all the way up and still have traction. Here it felt more like get all your speed at the bottom, and it was a short little like hit to get to the top.
Mhm.
And again, there was a couple of them where I was like, "Don't come back down those because it's gonna hurt you or the bike or both." It was a
Oh,
lot more of that than I thought. The B
yeah.
race was not so much, but the A race on Sunday was like, yikes.
Yeah, that whole course just looks so cool. I really wanted to go. I don't think I'm going to make it this year. I'm pretty sure that's the same weekend as my brother's wedding. So I was told that if I don't show up for that, I'm being
Yeah,
disowned. So
yeah,
I
that's
have to
that's pretty
go.
valid.
Yeah. But I'm hoping next year. I'm hoping next year that there's going to be a little bit more racing in my year. I started out with a lot this year, but I kind of knew that either I was going to have to taper back because I was going to go to Romania, or I was
Mm,
going to have to taper back because I was going to be able to move. And this move has been like 2 years in the making, and it finally just worked out. And um, so next year there will be hopefully a little bit more racing, hopefully.
yeah,
But I try not to like be too certain anymore because you never know what's going to happen.
yeah, life gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. Because a couple years ago, I was just so certain I was never going to get off of my TTR. And
Hmm.
then we had a really, really cold winter in North Dakota. and I got super like cabin fever. So my friend and I drove 3 hours to go just look at a dirt bike, and I left with a husky.
That's
So
always how it goes. I'm just looking, and then before you know
yeah.
it, you're walking out the door with one.
Yeah. Nope. I have a friend who works at a dealer now, and I was like, do not let me do that.
Yep.
Like, and he's like, but it'd be good for me. Nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
We're
right.
not friends anymore if that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you never know what's gonna happen. I might just impulse buy a bike or something, but
Yep.
we'll see.
I
But
was
it's
just at a
exciting.
dealership. I was just at a dealership looking at a. I was just getting there to get like some oil, and of course, walking out the door, I'm like looking at the trials bike that was on sale. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, don't look too long. Just keep walking. Just keep walking.
Yep. Trials by that was the other thing. So I was talking to Louise Forsley the other day, and she is working with Beta, and she's doing a bunch of trial stuff. And so she's like, cause it was a joke, but she's like, for us to be friends, you have to get a Beta trials bike now. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, well, Lou said, so that's how I have to explain it to my pocketbook is like, she told me.
Yeah, I had to. No choice.
Nope. I have to. Oh, darn. It's another how many thousands of dollars? Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hopefully that's in my future. I have a lot of friends who do trials out here, so it would be really cool to like get into that and do that with them. I feel like not very many of my friends back west did trials, at least not near me, whereas these friends are a lot closer. Plus it would like increase my skill set, and so that might be my next purchase.
They're very enticing because not only do they increase your skill set with hard enduro when you hop on a big bike, but also I feel like it's way easier to load up a trials bike, go somewhere, and then you could just have one rock that you session for an hour. Yeah. And you're not going to get all gross and super sweaty and not going to be breaking expensive parts, just like a chill hangout ride to get on a bike and increase your skills. Sounds way more fun some days than like going out and throwing your expensive bike and breaking something and being stranded out in the middle of nowhere.
You can do that on your enduro bike. It's just you do not.
But when you go out with an enduro bike and you're like, I'm just going to do this, then before you know it, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here now. But on a trials bike, you like can't really go very far because the gas tank is so small, and they're just a little less capable of like doing quick transfer stuff, whatever. So it kind of keeps you tied down, and then you go out there, the enduro bikes with your buddies, and before you know it, you're like on some mountain 3 miles away from the nearest road.
Yeah, I get it 100%. It was just really funny because it is possible. It's just people like you and me can't do it.
Never seen it done before. No.
But it's funny what you're saying about transfer sections on a trials bike. So at that Minnesota race, we actually had the ability to have trials bikes out at the same time as enduro bikes.
I saw that. I saw someone on a trials bike, and I wasn't sure. I was like, are trials bikes not allowed at the U.S. hard enduro races? Because
so there's a rule for U.S. hard enduro, and I don't know where it came from, but this was a one-off race in Minnesota, so like it's not part of a series or anything like that. So we had more flexibility. I know that you can't have a child-size tire on bikes. Like it has something to do with the size of the tire in the handbook for U.S. hard enduro, but I couldn't quote it specifically. But for this race, we were able to, and it was really cool to see that trials bike like head to head with enduro bikes. And Will has done hard enduro on an enduro bike before. So at the very end, and I had posted that video, it was just a quick little clip of him talking. basically about the pros and cons of doing a hard enduro on a trials bike versus the enduro bike, and how he's like, man, I wish I had a seat for a while there, you know, like you can just like kind of move off to the side and like, you know, like just be on the seat for some of that, because there was a section where he's basically like walking above the bike because he couldn't, I don't know if he didn't like get through that section cleanly. It's not saying he couldn't. Sorry, Will.
Right.
But yeah, he was like, you know, everybody hesitated in that section the first time through and just trying to pick your line and everything, figure it out. And there were huge rocks and they were all moving. And so he was just like, it was funny because I was like, man, that bike is so much easier to throw around. And like, how much energy is he saving doing that? But at the same time, there are things that the enduro bikes went over a lot easier than the trials bike. So, you know, it's that give and take, but it was so cool to see it like head to head. Will got 4th overall in pro.
Yeah,
So
I saw that.
Which is
that's really
awesome.
cool.
I was just like so stoked about it. So
yeah,
it'll be cool to see more of that, like in that specific race. We'll be able to see it and just see if more trials people come out and try it. So
it would be cool to see, like, I mean, there's already so many classes in US Hard Enduro, but like a trials class, like just make a class where if you're on a trials bike, you can show up and race it. I'd be really interested to see like where they do stack up, because like you said, there's so many places where it would help a ton and others where it might not, but just interesting to see, because man, there's a lot of times I'm out there, I'm like, I wish I could just have a bike that weighed 100 pounds less to get up this section right now. Like this big enduro bike is unnecessary.
Yeah, definitely. I could see it being an issue in like races like King of the Motos though. Like a trials bike for that would be insane.
That just wouldn't work.
No.
Yeah.
Like a trials bike at TKO would probably work.
Yeah, you'd probably have to put gas halfway, unless you had a bigger tank. And then, I mean, I think it'd be fine, because you're not really getting up to speed very much at that race. Like even on the like the enduro bikes, maybe I'm getting into 4th barely, but not really. Most of it's just like up down hills constantly all day. So I think a trials bike could be really good.
Yeah.
And again, it would just be cool to see what would happen.
Yeah. We'll have to get Will on here and talk to him and get his opinion on it. But I mean, that's kind of how everything started with the EMoto too, though, was that I think 2 years ago and TKO, EMoto was its own like thing, and it was like separate, and there was no pro class. It was all just one. And so it's grown a lot, and it's cool. It's so exciting to see that you're going to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah. It could go really good or really bad.
Either way, it's going to be entertaining and good content.
Yeah.
So
I'm really worried about, like, it would suck to go out there. Last year, TKO Race 1 and TKO Race 2 took me about an hour and a half. So I got a little over 3 hours of total ride time at TKO. And it would really suck to go this year on an EMoto, and then let's say I get 11th place, and it takes me about, let's just say it takes me an hour, 45 minutes to do TKO Race 1. Really suck to get kicked out there and not make the Sunday racing. You know, there's more of like, it's like a higher risk of losing out on some riding doing the EMoto.
Yeah.
But it'd be really cool if I made it, so.
Yeah. No, I have faith in you. I think that you have had experience on other e-bikes, or EMoto, excuse me. But because I always think about Mike, and you call him e-bike Mike, so that's where my mind goes. But yeah, like you've had experience. It's like it would be a different thing if you were like me. I've never been on one. I physically sat on one, but it wasn't like moving. So like I think that would be a detriment. But in your case, you have had some experience on the Stark, and you have been able to, you know, get at least a little bit of experience of how it is to ride a bike with no clutch. I think that's probably what's going to mess with you a little bit. But
yes, but also super nice to have the rear brake on the left handlebar. Like,
Yeah.
not having to move your right foot as much. And then same thing with the left foot. You don't have to shift at all. You just keep your feet where they need to be, and everything is on your hands. It's so nice. Like, it's a game changer. It really is. Because there's some sketchy downhills where sometimes you literally can't hit your rear brake, and you have to kill the bike and use your clutch as a rear brake. And of course, for my skill level, I'm sure there's the pros and everything will just go right down it like no problem. But I get in scenarios with my skill level where I'm like, I wish I had a rear brake on my handlebar. It'd make it so much easier.
I mean, there are people who do modifications like that. They're a little extra, in my opinion. I personally know that I am not at a level where that's gonna like make or break my life.
Right.
But yeah, there are people who I've seen modifications like that. But there's
double levers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of times that comes from like people who are doing it who have like some sort of disability or something that they're trying to overcome and get back into riding, which is really cool. So it's kind of always fun to see stuff like that. And even if somebody did it just to try it, then somebody else can use it to help modify the bike like that. So
for sure.
It's always cool to see different stuff like that because you never know how it could be used to help somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just look at Radford Chug and his thumb throttle. That's got to be helpful to somebody out there.
Yeah, it is very strange. I mean, but when I think about it, it seems more like if you're making a dirt bike from scratch, you're like, okay, how do we make the throttle? It does seem more weird to say, let's have the bar twist to make the bike go. Like a thumb throttle does make more sense when you don't take into account we've had the turn throttle, like the classic twist throttle, forever. Like it does seem more practical. So I bet you more people than you would imagine could hop on a bike like that with a thumb throttle, and after a couple hours, like, be fine with it.
Yeah.
Maybe even like it, like you said.
Yeah, I saw a couple of the guys last year at Erzberg get on Radford's bike and just trying to do a wheelie. And I mean, I'm talking like Mitch Brightmore and people like that, like people who very obviously know how to use a dirt bike and just like trying to do it and then trying to hold it and like do circle wheelies. Oh my God, it was so much fun. It was so hilarious to watch them because they got it eventually. But the first couple times it was like, what the hell is this? It's like, how are you doing this? Like, this is just stupid. Like, why can't you just be like the rest of us? But they were having so much fun with it. It was such a fun time. But yeah, it was just that thumb throttle thing is just so random. Like,
it is.
It's so weird. I'm sure there's multiple people who've come from ATVs to dirt bikes and they all switch over, but Radford had to go and be different.
Just needed it.
But well, do you have any international travel planned for next year?
I don't. The only one I did this year was Squamish in Canada, which is great. Super cool race. And then, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens next year, but I have nothing planned. I mean, I have nothing planned, period, next year. I have no idea what I'm doing. So
you're going to be riding a dirt bike. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. I will be on a dirt bike. No idea where or when, but I mean, I'll do the big ones. Like I'll do Silver Kings and Moab because it's so close. And I don't know if I'm even doing a whole series or what that looks like. But definitely unsure about international travel because that's a big commitment.
It is. It is. Last year was so much fun though with Erzberg. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I almost wish that I just committed to racing it because already being out there, like spending a couple $1,000 just to get there, it's like, what's another couple thousand to race it? Now it's like, well, shoot, I got to spend more money to go back and race it this time.
But now, like, do you think that getting there Because like what I always tell people is it's so much bigger than you think it is.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I knew it was
Yeah.
big, but I didn't realize it was that big until I went up in that helicopter and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Seeing this, like the shelves of the mine compared to trucks and cars and people, it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, it's way bigger than you think.
Yeah. Standing next to like 100-foot crane and then going up in the helicopter
Yeah.
and that crane looks like a little toy on the side and you're like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's crazy. It's also crazy how they've, like, literally half that mountain is just gone from them mining it. Like,
Yeah.
holy cow.
Yeah.
But
It's
that
kind of
race is,
terrible how people are to the earth, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's not
yeah, it's
us. We
like,
just race
it's
there.
really cool, but also, like, what the heck?
Yeah, yeah. But do you think that like if you had just committed to racing, like wouldn't that have just been totally messing with your head, like with how big everything was? Or do you think you would have been fine?
For sure. I mean, I probably would have just done it and been like, just gonna accept whatever happens. Like,
Yeah.
dive in so deep that all hands off, just along for the ride, because it's so foreign, literally so foreign and different
Yeah.
that just got to see what happens. And what the thing
Yeah.
that sucks with that is, I think how they get 1,200 or 1,500 entries, and then only 500 make the main.
Yeah.
So it would really suck to go out there, do the prologue, which is fast, wide open, like road essentially, and then not make the main and spend all that
Yeah.
money to get out there. And then that's not even saying, like, let's say you do make the main. Making it to checkpoint 5 is hard. So you're not even going to really see that much course.
Yeah.
And those bottlenecks are brutal.
Yeah. Sometimes making it to checkpoint 1 is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You got to make it up that hill, and that's crazy. But I think that personally, I would think that going and seeing it and kind of having an idea of how big it is, how like not even just tall, but like how laid out the course is, and it goes like all the way around.
Yeah.
So having a really good idea of that, and then understanding how fast you have to be for the prologue, I think that you would go in having a way better chance than you would just going in blind.
Yeah, right, for sure. And just one thing I noticed with racing multiple races, or racing the same race multiple times, is going back the second and third time, you feel way more comfortable just knowing, like, where do I park? Where is sign up? Not having that to figure that out takes a lot of mental load off of you, and you can focus on the racing. Because every time showing up for a race, you're always just like, I know where to go, but I don't know exactly where I'm going. Like, where is sign up? Like, where can I park? Do I have to pay for this parking? All that small stuff seems to add up a ton, and it's so nice to show up to, like, I did Silver Kings for the 4th time this year. And I just show up, I know exactly how it works, go to the same spot, sign up, you're like, okay, I got this going, and you know all the little secrets about the town or little city, wherever it's at, and it's a lot nicer. And so going back to Austria to race Erzberg, it's like, already have a little bit of experience with the area, kind of know how everything works, can focus a lot more on racing rather than the logistics of just trying to make it there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a really good point. Like, I'm somebody who has anxiety. So, like, when I go to new places, I usually map all that stuff out before I go. I'm like, okay, it's going to be $40. I have to have cash. Like, I am like planned out. But I go to so many of these now, but I learned from that. But it's still, when you're racing, then you're thinking about the race and do I get a track walk? Like, if I can, like, for me, still being so new to all of this, it's scary because you're coming in and you're like, holy crap, these mountains are huge. Like, seriously. Or even when I got here to PA, I've been to that property before, but as media. And when you're coming in as a racer, it is completely different. The way that you're looking at the mountain and the way that you're looking at the forest and all of that. It is a huge mental load to be able to just be like, okay, I know exactly where to go to park. The PA race, the locked and loaded was just an experience.
Yeah.
And I blame Cody 100% because I was not going to do that race. And then Friday night, he convinced me to sign up for it. And I was like, okay, I guess Saturday morning we're racing.
Yeah, that one was rough. I mean, it rained the entire time. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but like the start line there's like 3 inches of water that we were sitting in at the start line.
That was all over. I think all of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania had 3 inches of water at that point.
Yeah.
At least. Because, it was all over. And it was cold. And I was just like, what am I doing? It's cold.
Yeah.
It's wet. I don't know how to ride in this. I have never ridden in Pennsylvania before. Yep. Like, I was just so in over my head. And then to go in and, like, you're supposed to follow the single track. And now I'm in puddles, like, up to my hips. And which isn't that hard to do, but it's still. It was the coldest I've ever been riding. Yeah.
And it was crazy because it was a 3-lap format. And so, like, lap 1, the ruts and puddles were, like, non-existent, essentially. Lap 2, a little bit bigger. And then lap 3, I'd ride through the same sections, but this time they'd be, like, 2 feet deeper. And so there was 3-4 times where I was like, my bike is sunk right now. There is no getting it out. And then 5-10 minutes later of just shoving and yanking on the bike, it's like, okay, I'm out. Let's go get it stuck again.
Yeah. That was my whole experience. I did one checkpoint and it was because I was stuck in puddles the whole time.
Yeah.
And I am so ridiculously thankful for amazing people in this sport who stopped to help because, like, there was a couple who helped and they still got on the podium, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's just like, it's kind of pathetic on my side. Like, well, I felt pathetic because all you guys are going by me multiple times. And I'm just like, hi, I'm stuck in a puddle again. Maybe 15 feet away from where you saw me on the last lap.
But then, I mean, I think most people were getting stuck in puddles and having people go by them. Like, it was happening to everyone. It was just a matter of how stuck are you and how often are you getting stuck. But everyone's getting stuck at least once. And there was towards the very end of the lap, right before you came out of the woods and you went into the enduro cross, there was one little last pre-crossing. And every lap I was going way far right to the main line to try and avoid getting sucked into a big hole from everyone riding the main line. And then the third lap, I went there and literally, like, the water was, the bike was canted upwards and the rear fender was underwater. And I'm like, oh boy, the bike is, like, I'm done. And I was on my last lap, literally 4 minutes from the finish. And then the rut was so deep that it was coming up to the side of the bike, like, up near the seat. So the bike is halfway underwater and, like, in this mud hole. And I was just like, there's no way I'm getting out. And then after a couple minutes of literally, like, deadlifting the bike up and off the ground, out of the rut, finally got out. And then after the race, I was talking to Cole Clarkson, and he's like, dude, I got stuck so bad in this one spot. And he started describing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was the exact same spot I was stuck in. And he had the same experience where he kept going far right to try and avoid the main line. And then that last lap, someone must have gotten stuck there and dug a hole. And then everyone else just sinking in it and having a bad day. And I was shocked to see out there that more people didn't have sunk bikes. Because if I had 3 or 4 close calls, everyone else must have had a couple close calls. And you know there's a handful of people who sunk their bikes and got a little unlucky. But I think I only saw one person out there who was like completely off the track because they sunk their bike.
I thought that was going to be me. I really thought it was going to be me a couple times because I was like, these puddles are so huge. And there was one, it's like halfway through the section to checkpoint 1, and it was just like the whole everything. Like it was, even if it was double track, it would have been fully underwater. And this puddle,
Yes.
the guy, there was like a worker standing there, and he's like, go all the way to the left, and you go to the left, and you have to go over this little log, and it's a small log, but then you have to go over this big log once you drop down off of that. And that was like the line. He's like, in the middle, it's like 2 feet deep. And I was like, huh.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I think you saw me stuck in that puddle. But I was like coming. I made sure nobody was coming because I didn't want to screw anybody's race up. So I waited and waited and waited, and then I finally went and I high-sided off of it, trying to go over the little log because my tire was just spinning because I hadn't changed to a new tire at that point. I had probably 40 hours on that tire, which I can't believe I had any traction, but thankfully, you know, the tires are so good. Like they retain their gumminess, and they almost grip stuff really well, but at some point, doesn't matter because logs that are wet are logs that are wet, and it's underwater. So like, there's just not very much traction. Anyway, so it like shot me to the side, like my rear. And when it did that, I high-sided off the bike, but I was holding the bike up, and I managed to like push the bike. But then I am like seriously like to my chest in water.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I had fallen with the bike, like I don't know what I would have done. I wouldn't have known what to do, how to get my bike out of there. Like, but as it was, I was stuck. I was physically stuck. Like my boots were sank so far in the mud, and I was like, I don't know how to get out of this.
Yeah.
Like the guy was like, "Oh, you might have some water in your boots," and I just looked at him. I was like, "I have water in everything." Like
that's funny. Yeah.
I mean, so I had a rain jacket on. And at that point, it came up. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think most people were completely soaked before the before the race even started. Because it was raining the whole time, and you're sitting out there just getting soaked. And then you said you had a rain jacket on. I had one on too. But then when you're falling in these deep puddles, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to get soaked anyways.
Yeah. And I had thought that I was being smart. I was like, okay, well, it's cold outside, so I'm going to wear like these thicker leggings. And like they're like fleece lined. That was a terrible idea because all they did was soak up more water and mud. And like I ended up throwing them out because they were so caked with mud. Because I was like, I don't care about these that much.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy.
I think it was a good. So Dylan Ewing, he didn't wear any jacket. He just had, of course, riding gear on. Yeah. And he said during the race, he was so cold that he couldn't feel his fingers. Mm-hmm. And I had a light rain jacket on, and it kept me warm enough to where I had no problems with like feeling my extremities. And I'm just like, over the course of 4.5 hours of being cold, like how many extra calories you're burning and suffering you're doing is, and it's crazy to think that like the difference from having to performing better at a race is like, oh, I wore a rain jacket or I didn't wear a rain jacket is kind of crazy to like a sport. Hard enduro comes down to, oh, I wore a jacket or not.
But it's like you said, I mean, that small change can make such a huge difference. And if you, I think that comes with like Cody always tells me, like, you learn more from a race than you do from a normal trail ride. And I think it's instances like that where we put ourselves in that position. Yes. But that is something I never would have gone out on a trail ride when it's that cold and that wet. And like,
yeah, absolutely.
No, I wouldn't do that. But in a race, I would. And I learned a lot. And I mostly learned I never want to do that again. But
Yep.
But I definitely think that you do learn more from races like that. Like they push you, and maybe you don't have your best result, but then you're going to take that and you're going to be able to put that into the next race that maybe isn't as bad, or it doesn't seem as bad because of what you learned. And you just build on it. It compounds as you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it.
Yeah.
So
you kind of get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes. Yep.
and learning all those scenarios where you typically wouldn't find yourself in. But because
Yeah.
the racing, like you don't really have much choice, so you have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It was the
100%.
same
And
thing.
go ahead.
It was the same sort of thing in Ohio.
Mhm.
It wasn't like raining wet, but it rained the night before, and
Mhm.
that whole course was so sloppy and muddy. And it's like under normal circumstances, I would never want to be like, hey, let's go out and ride this stuff. Even though in some hill climbs, there's like a foot of wet, loose mud. And,
Mhm.
but because it's a race, you got to go out and do it and learn
Yeah.
so much. Like by the end of it, I think it was a 2 lap format. I think lap 1 took me 2.5 hours. And
Yeah.
then just doing that going into lap 2 took me only 2 hours. So a half hour quicker,
Yeah.
just because I learned literally during the race, like how to ride that stuff better.
Yeah.
And under normal circumstances, I would have never been out there racing
Mhm.
or riding in mud like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does teach you just so much more, and in a controlled environment, because
Yeah,
like, I mean, I think if you had gone out just to ride like that, there's nobody's coming to save you. At
yeah,
least in the race, you have sweeps who are come around eventually if you get stuck.
yeah. And you have other people who are helping each other.
Mhm.
There were a handful of
Yeah.
times where it's like, hey, I help you, you help me, and you get
Mhm.
through a section.
Yeah.
But on a ride where you're just out there, like you said, no one's coming to save you. And it's also
Mhm.
nice during a race where there's so much suffering.
Yeah.
You're suffering with other people, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's not just me. Like this is
Yeah.
everyone's experiencing the same thing.
You trauma bond.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like the definition of hard enduro, trauma bond.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah, another thing that like I've personally learned from racing now has been nutrition. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
about you because you're like a faster guy now. Do you eat on the trail, or do you like have snacks or anything?
I don't eat like solid food, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll have gels, and then I got hydropower in my
Mm-hmm.
pack, so I got carbs and electrolytes. And typically, I'm okay with that. When we're on like a trail ride, well, I'll bring snacks and we'll stop halfway and have a little snack break. Um, but during a race, I won't stop and like eat something solid.
Yeah,
Just gel packs, and usually I'm
yeah,
fine with that. Um,
yeah. It
by
makes
the
a
end
big
of like
difference.
yeah, having calories is like a
Mhm.
no. It's non-negotiable because you
Mhm.
bonk out so fast with no calories. You don't like you think like, oh well, it's only 4 hours. Like I'll be fine. But then you're an hour and a half in, and you're like, why do I feel like I'm tired and I can't not get tired no matter how long I take a break for? It's because you're just
Yeah,
not eating any calories or anything. And
yeah,
then also, if you're not having electrolytes, dude, those cramps set in and they don't go away
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Once you start getting those cramps, it's nearly impossible to come back from that. And I
yeah.
had King of the Motos this year, I had some of the worst cramps I've ever
Mhm.
had. It was like we were 1 lap in and I was starting to have cramps and I'm like, oh no, this is very
Yeah.
early. I'm having cramps. And by the
Mhm.
end of the race, I had cramps in my hamstrings, my quads, my calves, my lats, like full body, my triceps, full body cramps. And I
Yeah,
finished the race, or I didn't, I bailed 1 lap short, but there was
yeah.
no time. So I'm like, I'm done. And just laid there for like 15 minutes. I just, like,
Mhm.
no one touched me, no one talked to me. I just need time to
And
recover.
I remember seeing you on the ground and taking that picture. I was like, oh my God. I came over and I was like, are you okay? Because like I didn't know what was going on. Then you said you were
Yeah,
cramping. I was like, okay. I didn't know if
yeah,
you were like injured or what, but yeah. it was crazy, but you were going hardcore, and that's such a crazy race. Like that
Yeah,
takes so much out of you, especially when you guys were
but
getting stuck in those bottlenecks and having to try and figure out your way around and everything.
yeah, I got pretty lucky because I got a decent start, so I didn't
Mhm.
really run into too many bottlenecks.
Yeah.
And then the course was so different between lap 1 and lap 2 that
Hmm.
you didn't come around on lap 2 and run into people still on lap 1.
Yeah.
And then I believe lap 3, 4, and 5 were basically the same lap,
Hmm.
um, which was they were relatively easy compared to the first two. Um, but man, I don't know what it was. I definitely I did not have enough electrolytes in my bag at all,
Hmm.
and I felt the consequences of that very early on into the race,
Yeah.
um, which I definitely learned from. And I haven't had cramps I haven't really had cramps at all this year. Of course, you get towards the end of a 4-hour hard enduro, you get like a couple here and there that you're like, oh, that was close, almost cramped there, and you stretch it out, and I don't know. I guess Cody Webb punches his. If you saw that video,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, nothing like King of the Motos, which was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to talk to Tobin Miller and find out his secret recipe. It's pickle juice and something else. I don't remember
Yeah,
what it is.
that's another thing is I learned about pickle juice at King of the Motos. Riley Bender was saying, he's like, dude, pickle juice is the method, and then I tried
I
it.
don't feel like it does anything for me. Like I've done that. So I was training for motos and I was around Tobin Miller a lot at that time. He was
Yeah,
there. I hesitate to say we trained together because we were in the same general area, not doing the
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, he was like he shared a pickle juice shot with me and like
Mhm.
was telling me about it and telling me all his secrets. And I was like, I can't, I don't know if it's a mental thing, but it just didn't do anything for me. So, but I also
So,
typically don't cramp, but I'm
yeah,
not at the same pace that you guys are. But even like with my running, when I go out for like a 20 or 30 mile run, I don't cramp
yeah.
for that. So
Interesting.
like, but I also don't drink electrolytes while I'm out there because to me, it just makes me feel like it's making me more thirsty. And so I
That can be
do
a problem
electrolytes
sometimes.
before and electrolytes after, but I
Yeah.
cannot do it nothing flavored. I have to have just plain water. And
So that's why I love at all most of the checkpoints at the races. They have um, bottled water for people to drink, and so I find what I do is I have bunch of electrolytes in my bag, and I'm drinking that throughout the whole race. And then at the checkpoints, you get plain water, and then I drink that on top of it, which is I feel like a really nice balance because I couldn't do there's no way I could race with no electrolytes whatsoever. I would just
yeah,
cramp, and of course there's carbs in it too, and I would bonk out so fast. So it's
yeah,
like I have to have it, but I also get what you're saying, where it makes you more thirsty because I have experienced that sometimes where I'm like, I don't want to drink this anymore. I need just water.
yeah.
And usually like points they have bottled water, and I can like scratch that itch, and so I get best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's kind of like what it is though, because it's 100% when I'm drinking that stuff because I've tried it and it's just like I started to feel almost anxious for just normal water. Like I started to
Right.
just feel like, oh my God, I need this. Like I need it right now. And I wasn't
Yeah.
even overly thirsty. Like when I finally got real water, I drank maybe half a bottle.
Right.
And like I didn't feel like I needed the full thing. But then I was like, when I was drinking the other stuff, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, it's a different ratio for me because I'm smaller or something. I don't know. But I have not figured it out to the point where I can handle electrolytes while I'm doing activity.
Mhm.
Now, the carbs is a completely different thing. I have to
Yeah.
have carbs every like 30 to 40 minutes when I'm doing like hard
Yes.
stuff. And
Yeah.
otherwise I do bonk. And everyone who rides with me knows like I just need a minute and I take a gel and then I'm fine. But like if
Yep.
I start making stupid mistakes, like it is time for Angel to stop and have a snack or something to eat
Yeah.
something.
it's crazy how quickly you can go from like feeling bonked out, and then you have a
Mhm.
gel with some calories and carbs and everything in it, and
Yeah.
you give it 5 minutes, and you're like, whoa, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It's crazy how quick it comes into action. And that's, with my understanding with the pickle juice, is it's something you have when you feel the onset of cramps or you're having the cramps themselves.
Hmm.
Is you drink it, and then it's some sort of reflux. Me and Adam were like researching this during our drive to and from Grinding Stone, doing a whole like really looking into it. But it's like some sort of reflux. When you drink the pickle juice, like a minute or two later, it tells your body to like not cramp in some way. I forget the exact details, but it's not something to prevent, but rather to get rid of.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that's maybe my issue with it is that like I've never actually fully had cramps like that.
Yeah,
I've had like to the point where I'm just about to and you could feel it like
yes,
coming on.
yeah,
But never actually like fully into it. I think the
yeah,
only time I've ever had cramps was when I did the enduro in Arizona last year. And that was just it wasn't my bike, it was a lot of things that were wrong.
yeah,
But a lot of like relentless rocks, and I was still so new to all of that. That I did. There was a couple times where I was like, I had to stop. Like the poor sweeps,
yeah,
they were so patient. They were behind me, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I can't physically hold on anymore." I was like, "Everything." Oh my god! I was like, "I'm cramping so bad." But then at the end, I couldn't let go of the bike because I was
yeah,
cramped so bad. I was like, "Oh my god, this is
yeah.
terrible." Um, but it's
It's the
racing, so
worst feeling ever. It's like your body
but
betraying you.
yeah, you're like, what? Why can't you just do what I'm telling you to do?
Yeah, yeah,
But it's so fun, and even experiences like that, even experiences like Locked and Loaded, I wouldn't trade
hmm,
it because like it's so cool because
absolutely.
like I have all these like memories coming up from like last year, and last year I traveled so much. And it is so cool to look back and see the different areas of the country, the different people I was with, the different areas of the
Yeah,
world, even, and what I was able to do because of dirt bikes. And
yeah,
like, that's freaking awesome. We are
yeah,
so like in a sense lucky. I know we work really hard for it, so it's hard to say that we're lucky, but at the same time like I try to be grateful for the fact that like I am where I am right now, and like the places I get to see, the places I get to ride, the people I get to meet. Like I think it's so awesome. We always say we have
yeah.
the best community, and
Ab-
it's just amazing.
yeah, it's really cool. Like met I like met Cole Clarkson and Vince Clarkson for the first real time at Grinding Stone. I had talked to them like here and there a couple times before, and then from Grinding Stone when we had a couple ride days, uh, we got each other's contacts, and then for the East Coast races, like at um, Locked and Loaded and Ohio, were like, hey, let's split hotel rooms and or Airbnbs, and like became friends from that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't go race East Coast Racing, I wouldn't have ever made that connection with them. And they're
Yeah,
such cool people. I feel like I've built this friendship with that family that's
yeah,
super cool. Like again, I could say that they're friends now,
yeah.
and if I didn't go, like wouldn't have ever happened.
The Clarksons are some of the best people in general, though. Like, I absolutely love all of them. I've met all
Yeah,
of them,
they're
and
so
they're just
nice.
fantastic.
Yeah,
But yeah, we have that, and from a different standpoint, um, I started in this world in hard enduro in the U.S. 2 years ago, right? Battle of the Goats 2 years ago, and I was just doing media. I was just taking pictures. Had never been to a hard enduro in person before. I had been watching it, so I knew what it was. Knew kind of who the pros were and everything, but um, I met this guy at that race and ended up going to more races on the East Coast and kept seeing that guy. And I was like, hey, how's it going? Let's catch up, whatever. How have
hmm,
things been since then? He knew I was moving on the East Coast. I was moving around, traveling, and we kept in contact. Then, like he was just super supportive of my riding and everything. I was freaking 10 hours on the Husky at the time. And, you know, so very new. He's a pro rider and didn't need to give me the time of day, but he did. He was supportive. He was super awesome. Gave me tips on like setup for the bike and stuff. And fast forward to me going to Arizona, like what is it, like 8-9 months later, and I said I was going to go out to California, and all of a sudden all these people from California rally around me, and I found some of my absolute best friends, the guy that I ride with more than anyone else, all because of Dylan and they were his friends, and he like absorbed me into his group, and all of those people then like surrounded me, and like that has been vital to me getting to the point that I am, both in confidence and skill level and just seeing the terrain that I've seen. But it always comes down to people. Like,
Yes.
dirt bikes are amazing. Do not get me wrong. I absolutely love all the time that I get on my bike. I do love my solo ride time, but the people that dirt bikes have brought me are freaking phenomenal. And I've met some of the best people through riding, whether it's being around enduro cross, being around hard enduro, even hare scrambles and enduros. Like, it's awesome. And we all share the same passion, and it's really cool. And it's like, to me, it's like a family reunion at every race, because it's like you get to catch up with people and see what people have been up to, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I also love how supportive everyone is of like competitors.
Yeah.
I showed up to Donner and everything was going wrong. I literally showed up and my bike had no suspension on it. And although I'm not racing directly against Cole, he's an A class and he's way better of a rider, I was like, Cole, do you have extra suspension? Because I need suspension, and if you don't, I'm screwed. He's like, yeah, sure, I got suspension for you, no problem. And I show up to the race, and he gives me suspension to put on my bike and to let me race. And this is like hours before the start.
Yeah.
And then we do the Friday race, and then Saturday morning, hanging out, and I wasn't even going to swap an air filter, but we looked at mine, and it was like so bad, and I'm like, oh, I do not want to take it off, clean it, and do all this stuff. And then Ethan Sturpey, who like I'm racing directly against in B class, him and his dad were like, here, we have an air filter, like, here you go, just give it to us back at Splish. And I'm like, okay. And again, we're direct competitors. We're racing in B class together, and they give me an air filter to make sure I can have a better race. And it's like, I feel like you don't see that in other sports, where literally you are. And then even when you're on the course, like if your direct competitor falls and is stuck under your bike, I guarantee you 99.9% of people are going to stop and take the bike off that person to make sure they can get out.
Yep.
But I just don't know if you'd see that in other sports.
No, I don't feel like I have. And I think it comes down to, we always talk about, it's kind of us against the terrain out there. Like, yes, there are other people, but it is, and I think Tristan said at one point, like, he doesn't want to win because of a technicality. You want to win because you were the best racer and rider out there that day. You know, you don't, like, it doesn't mean as much if you're just up there because, oh, everybody else got stuck in the mud. Like, you know, I mean, yes, in some ways that does mean you're the best rider or whatever. But if all of you can like be fighting and battling each other, I think that makes it more fun for everybody. And even if it's not like a super close battle, I think that the stuff that we go through, like you were saying, you know, we all suffer together, so we understand it. And I feel like it gives us a different sense of compassion. We're still competitive, but there's that compassion there. Like, you don't want to see somebody stuck under their bike, you know, you don't want to see somebody getting burned or just broken or whatever, you know, you're going to help, because that could be you.
Yeah. And like you said, that's not a way you want to win. And
exactly.
I just feel like in a lot of other disciplines, people make enemies with their competitors. And in hard
Mhm.
enduro, I think it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And then same sort of situation, Caden Hatcher, who was like my direct B class competitor. I keep saying direct competitor, but I'm racing against him at all these West races.
Mhm.
And after Donner, um, me and Cole Clarkson drive up, and we literally stay at Caden Hatcher's place in northern Idaho for a couple days, and they like let me stay at their home and ride on their property, and
Yeah.
I have no problem doing it. Like it doesn't matter that me and him are battling for points in the series.
Yeah.
If anything, it makes it them like nicer. I don't know. Everyone is just so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings the best people together, and I think it's the coolest thing. I I always find it fun because I know so many people, and for me, it's really fun to see my people find each other and start like hanging out or
Yeah,
ride together or whatever. And for me, like knowing you and seeing you come out to the East Coast and like riding and
yeah,
racing out here has been cool. You've met people out here. Last year was Josh Pregan. He was out here, and I think it's awesome to see the worlds colliding a little bit.
yeah,
And
yeah. I just
um,
met him at Ohio for the first time, which was
yeah,
cool.
yeah, he's so awesome. Well, everybody, I feel like everybody's awesome. I always say he's
Yeah,
awesome. He's awesome. She's awesome. Like everybody's just so fantastic, and
yeah,
everyone that's at these races is just helping each other. And because, well, I think the other thing is too that we understand, especially for like amateurs, like we're all paying a lot of money to be here. We're
for
all
sure.
paying a lot of money to get places, and we know that helping each other, like that's the right thing to do. But it's also, maybe one day I'll need that help, and I've helped you now, and maybe I'll never
Yep.
need it from you, but it's that whole like pay it forward thing.
Yeah,
So I think that there's a lot of that too.
yeah. It. I almost feel like you could show up to a hard enduro race the day before with no gear or no bike, and like as an experiment, you could be like, I bet you there's enough people here who
Mhm.
are nice enough where someone has an extra bike and I
Mhm.
can get a helmet from this guy and something, knee pads from this guy, boots from this guy, and you could probably
Yeah.
race the next day. And the thing
Well,
is,
look.
every single one of them would have no problem doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Look what happened to, if you watch the World Hard Enduro podcast,
Mm,
Taryn and Brandon, they had essentially that happen on their trip to Romaniacs, and
right.
their luggage
They
got
lost all
lost
their
in that
bags.
whole debacle. Yeah, because they
Yep.
couldn't go through, I think it was Serbia, and they got turned back. They had to go to Spain, and then they had to figure everything out. So their bags got lost, and people gave them gear. People were trying to help. I mean, they already had the bikes, but there was a case. I'm trying to remember where it was. Somebody's beta had gotten stolen, and I don't remember if it was a hard
Mm,
enduro or if it was. I want to say it was one of the hard enduros. Might have been King of the Motos, actually. I
really?
want to say I want to say it was desert when I'm like associating it with desert. But anyway, somebody's bike got stolen like the night before the race,
Yeah.
and they put out like on social media, and they found him a bike to race.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like that's I've seen it happen multiple times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you don't see that in motocross or hare scramble. I mean, at least
Mm-mm.
not that I've seen in hare scramble, but yeah, it's very, very different, but so cool. I hope I
Yeah.
never have to try that out, but
Right. Yeah. But it is kind of nice knowing like people will help each other.
at, at the very least, they'll try. They will
Yeah.
try, and
Yeah.
they will try
Like,
their
I'll
hardest,
know a
and that's
guy. I'll
awesome.
give you his number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, hopefully next year we see you out here on the East Coast still occasionally. I know it's a bit
Yep.
of a drive, but you're kind of like almost in the middle. So like,
Yes. It's good and bad because
yeah,
everywhere is like far, but it's not 2 days far. It's
yeah,
just like most places are within 24 hours.
yeah.
Like I think EMoto's is, I want to say it was 18, maybe 16. And that's the furthest West Coast race. And then Silver Kings is like 15 hours, and Squamish that's a different thing. And then the furthest East Coast race, I believe, is like 26, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be further. I don't know. I flew out to the first two, to Battle of the Goats and Locked and Loaded, so I didn't drive those, but I drove to Ohio, and that was about 21 hours, which stunk with bad head gasket, but we made it.
Yeah. It's a lot. It is a lot, but for me, it's always been kind of cool because we're like kind of parallel, and we end up going a lot of the same places, and it's fun to have this friend who lives in the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, but like the middle of the country, and then still be able to see you in all these different places. So
I wish you could go to TKO, because it's cool seeing, like you said, it's like the everyone goes to that, and it is kind of the finale. Yeah.
It's almost like our Super Bowl, but better.
Yeah. The spectating there it's got to be the best of the year for the pros. It's so good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And then it's really cool because we have Manny and Billy coming again, and I think Johnny Walker's going to be there, and then so you have people coming from overseas, and it's really awesome to see that talent over here. And then with Eddie and Toby coming, and it's so many people, and I'm like, oh, so many friends, but I have to make better financial decisions, I guess, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that'll mean more racing and riding, but right now it sucks.
I have my phone propped up in the sun, and it just overheated.
Oh, no worries. Well, I just wanted to say, like I'm really sad that I'm not going, but I'm trying to make better financial decisions, and I could, well, we'll see about that one. I've got a lot of peer pressure from other people to say to get one, but I just, unfortunately, it's just not going to work out this year. But the plan as of right now is King of the Motos in January. So I am super excited about that.
Yeah, so I think I should be back there as well, because that's where they're doing awards for 2026 West Series. Because Beaver.
Because the Brave Beaver.
Yeah.
Or Brave Beaver.
So, and within the same 2 weeks, our main mountain riding area burnt down too, and we were going to have an enduro race up there. So that got canceled. So in 2 weeks, 2 mountain places that we ride and a race was going to be burnt down.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But it's just so dry out here this year. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. I would love to send you some wetness. It rains almost every single day here, so
yeah, we need it. It's been raining a lot here too, but it just goes. It's like it could pour and pour for 2 hours, and the next day you would have no idea.
Like it. No, it never dries out here. Cody and I were riding a couple weeks ago, and we were in a spot, and he said something about, this is actually pretty dry. And I looked at the ground. I'm slipping and sliding off of all these rocks.
Yep.
If I try and dab and I put a foot down, I just slide right off the rock. So more of my falling right now is that I need to just stick to keeping my feet on the pegs.
That's the most aggravating thing, is when it's one thing if your bike is sliding around, but when your feet are sliding off rocks, that's when it gets really annoying. Because then you're riding and you mess up and you go to dab, and then your foot slips and then you fall. It's like a triple with me.
Yeah. And it's so that's what I was telling him. I was I feel like I should know, because we weren't even doing hard enduro. I was I feel like I should be able to ride this stuff. And I feel like I'm failing right now because it's so hard, and it shouldn't be that hard. This is a decently wide trail. It's not even single track. I just don't understand why I'm struggling this much. And he's like, it's hard. Like this terrain is very different. There's no traction like back west. And so we had this whole conversation about that. I could barely find traction out west, so finding it here is almost impossible.
Yeah,
but
it's different because out west it's like the dirt doesn't have traction because it's so loose, and then the rocks do have traction, but then on the East Coast it's flipped. It's like the dirt has traction, but the rocks don't, and they're so slippery, and you just slide right off.
There's not a lot of dirt in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of rocks. So.
Yes. Yeah.
And between the rocks, there's roots that are wet because it's always wet here. And so that's what I was saying. He was saying, oh, it's been pretty dry. And I like looked around me and I was like, I don't think you remember what dry is like. Because like this is not dry.
Yeah.
When I can see precipitation on the rocks, that is not dry. So
right, when the rocks are sweating, there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, it is so ridiculous. But it's new, and I'm really excited to get back west and see what my riding is like. I'm supposed to be going in November to California, and I'm borrowing a bike. And so it's going to be a bike that I don't know. I've never ridden a Sherco. So it'll be my first time riding a Sherco 2-stroke. And then I'm going to get to see what my skills are like versus out here. It's not going to be a direct comparison. But
I bet you'll be a better rider for sure. I think East Coast makes better riders than the West Coast. I think the adjustment to slick terrain to dry is a lot easier than vice versa.
That's what Cody was saying. He was like, it's easy to ride back in California. And I just looked at him and I was like, dude, did I ever make it look easy? I don't think so.
Right. It's like we still threw our bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw Cody throw his bike one time in all of the time that I've been riding with him in the West Coast. And technically he didn't throw it. He like did this really interesting move with it. Not land what he was trying to land though. Right. But so we're 1-1 now, one on each coast.
Yeah.
But I also like he's doing gnarlier stuff now than he was when we first started riding together. So, I mean,
it's
he's
interesting
like
how that happens.
Yeah,
so, like the rocks get bigger, the sections get harder.
Well, that's what my mom was saying something about like why I'm fixing my bike so much lately, and I was like, it's because first of all, I started riding with Cody and other people like him. So I go through harder terrain now, but also like my skills have advanced and now I'm trying bigger things or harder things. Except in the case of my swing arm, in which case I was just trying to go up a hill and it just
that's crazy. Fast. I still can't believe that. Like that was a big hole.
It was huge. It was a huge hole in the swing arm. But I don't know. I guess it was just time for a new swing arm.
Yeah,
that was my bike's way of throwing a tantrum.
Yeah. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Poor bike. That bike has been through so much. Like, but somebody was saying something about me getting a new bike, and I was like, if, and that's a big if, with capital letters. If I get a new one, I'm not selling this one because I've been through so much with it. Like, I love this bike. Like, even if it is on its exactly. Yep. Like, I'm never getting rid of it. I'm gonna keep it I still have my TTR back in Minnesota. Yeah. Like, I never got rid of that. So it needs work, but like I'm probably never gonna get rid of this bike.
And one day you can like hang it up on the wall and be like, that's the bike I learned on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if I end up getting something new. But that's a conversation for a different paycheck. This paycheck is already taken.
Yeah, I want a new bike too, but man, they're just so expensive.
Okay, well, we have learned from the vehicle thing now that we have to coordinate, so we have to get the same thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just doesn't work out well.
So the what's interesting about the Austrian bikes is the gas bikes still have an aluminum subframe, and I've broken 4 subframes on my Husky. So I'm like, gas
Yeah.
seems pretty enticing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's really unfortunate is I replaced my subframe before Donner, raced Donner, raced Silver Kings, then I did 1 ride in Washington, and then broke the subframe in Squamish. So it lasted 3 weeks. 1 subframe lasted 3 weeks. And it's not the cost that is the worst part. Of course, it sucks spending $180, $200 on a subframe. It's the fact that you have to tear your entire bike apart to replace it. And it's like a 2-3 hour thing.
Yeah.
And it's so obnoxious.
See, if I did it, it would be like a 5 to 8 hour thing. And then it would probably go over like 2 days.
At first, it took a lot longer. But now I've like gotten good at it because I've done it so many times.
All right, so I'm going to need your services, sir. You're going to need to come up here while you're on this side of the country and help me.
Right. So is it your subframe? Is it just that last little end piece on the tail section that's broken?
Yeah, it's not like super. It's not super bad.
Yeah, so it's like when you try and pull the fender, you can't. Yeah. I haven't broken mine catastrophically. It's been that same thing every time, but it makes it really annoying because you can't lift from the fender, and it's all floppy and weird.
I don't lift the fender, so I have straps. But
but you can't put a strap anywhere because that's where you screw into with most of them.
Oh, mine's not broken like that far. Like the strap still works, so it works for me at least. But my biggest thing is like I love having a strap on my bike because the people who I've ridden with who don't have it, moving their bike is absolutely freaking ridiculous. I learned that at Meadow Valley in Minnesota, is that a lot of people didn't have a rear strap on their bike. And I was like, oh my God, like I was trying to help with bikes in one section and like move them over this giant log. And I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Like there's no hole to grab onto. Like I had to like grab the rear tire. Oh God, it was just terrible. Anyway, the other thing is that I am so small that my pivot point doesn't work with like the weight and like height of the bike. So I have to lean the bike over like a lot and then lift at a super awkward angle and then like try and move it. But I'm lifting this bike like from chest height essentially to like eye level. And like that's try doing that sometime. Try to lift your bike like that. It is not
I've been in situations where the bike is higher than I am and I'm like, it's 4 times as hard to lift it.
Yeah, that's my life, my whole life.
Yeah, every day.
I had a friend who she's like 6'2". She did something and she was like on her knees and she's like, "Is this what life is like for you?" And I looked at her and I stood up from the chair I was in and she was not very much shorter than me. And I was like, yeah, actually, like, almost 100% exact.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah. She's like, life is totally different down here. She's like, I honestly, like, I have a totally different perspective for how you go through life. Like, this is insane. And I was like, yeah, well, I have no idea what it's like for people to be tall. Like, I did the other day, I was hiking and I was like, how do people hike this? Like, I literally, these rocks are taller than me, which it's not that hard. But the rocks are taller than me, and I'm having to, like, jump and scramble up this rock. And then at another section, it was the same thing, and I held my phone up, and I was like, this is my eye level. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, most people aren't this short. So I held my hand up, like, as high as I could go, and I was like, oh, the world looks so much different. Like, the things that I could see from up there versus, like, because the lookout point is just barely clears the tree line. And so, like, at my eye level, I was like, oh, this is really pretty, but it'd be cooler if I'd be a little bit higher. Yeah. So when I did that, I was able to get a better picture. And I was like, wow.
Like, oh my God, I've been missing out on this for so long.
Dude, the landscapes must look so amazing to most people.
Yeah.
I'm missing it all. But, yeah. So, anyways, I don't remember how we got on that tangent. But, you be safe getting out to TKO. I am super, super stoked to hear about it, and I will be watching for everything. So please make sure you're posting about it, because
Yes.
I'm going to be having severe FOMO, just like watching, just missing you guys.
I
So
wish TKO they would do a live stream for the pro race, because it's the
yeah,
perfect venue to do it.
yeah, I agree, 100%. So maybe one day we'll convince them. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
sounds good.
anyways,
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, of course. We're
It
super
won't be
excited
that
to see
long, or it won't be.
for the next time.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll start planning it now, and maybe by this time, next TKO,
Yeah,
we'll be able to line it up.
Yeah, we seem to. Last time we did it, I think we did it right after TKO 2 years ago, or right before.
I think it was before, because it was after Silver Kings.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was. It feels like a long time ago. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you're not allowed to go that long without it.
I won't.
Again. All right.
Sounds
well,
good.
have fun, and yeah,
I'll probably
talk to
see
you
you at
guys
Kings
soon.
of Photos next time then, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Sweet. Well, sounds
All
good.
right.
Thanks for having me again.
Yep. All right. Bye.
Bye.